Just a quick reminder, most of the lore are statements said by the devs and official Last Dawn Discord server. Don't take any unofficial statements such as theories seriously. Everything is subject to change. Even the official lore has changed as well. Now, let's get on with the video. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Whyareyoumexican. This is my first time doing this. I hope you like it, and don't mind my English. And we are gonna take a deep dive into the lore of Last Dawn. A tale where the Civil War didn't just pit brother against brother. Starting off with Fort Pulaski, April 12th, 1862. The Confederates, after enduring a brutal Union bombardment, the garrison faced a new horror. A mysterious disease that turned the wounded into the undead. This wasn't just a skirmish, it was the start of a nightmare. This is an official quote related to Fort Pulaski. Billy Yanks already stopped. We heard some gunfire and explosions back at the Union lines. Not soon after, these crazed men started coming out of those woods. Most of the garrison was already exhausted and on the brink because of those bloody artillery guns. I am afraid we won't last much longer. Charles H. Olmsted didn't make it when those crazed men came again. We couldn't do anything as he was just mauled like cattle. But even with their combined efforts, it was all in vain. In the end, the Union decided to burn down the fort along with anything in it, zombie or not. Just a few days later, after the events of Fort Pulaski on April 15th, 1862, the 79th New York Highlander Regiment arrived at Progress Mills. At first, it had seemed eerily abandoned. However, they didn't expect what would happen next. The following note is by a fallen comrade with an unknown fate. This is Liam Jackson of the 79th New York Highlander Regiment. We just arrived at some mills that have been abandoned for some reason. The men have swept the area, but found no one except dried blood near the riverbed and a hat. The next day, as they swept the forest, the soldiers discovered a heinous scene. A body, mutilated, the wildlife had seemingly vanished, replaced by a greater threat. By the 17th of April, the mill was overrun. Out of the 36 men, only 20 remained. They sent out a messenger in hopes of getting back up. But deep down, they knew the messenger wouldn't get there in time. When the reinforcements eventually arrived, they were met with the demise of the members of the 79th New York Highlander Regiment, with no survivors left. They too would eventually rise up again. In September 1862, after the Battle of Antietam, soldiers from the Army of Potomac were tasked with cleaning up the battlefield. What they found was far from what they expected. Here's the following from the Discord server. Multiple wounded Union and Confederate soldiers that had yet to be treated or discovered have succumbed to the same disease that plagued Fort Pulaski. Multiple infected outbreaks occur all over the battlefield, adding to the chaos. The soldiers at Dunker's Church made a valiant stand, but the infected cannot be reasoned with. Despite with all their efforts, they too would eventually fall. The Army of Potomac eventually beat the hordes back, employing the same brutal cleanup tactics used at Fort Pulaski and Progress Mills. Burning. All these maps mentioned are in the endless mode, implying that it doesn't matter what the player does, they will fall. On to the timeline. We begin at Elkhorn Tavern in March 1862. This is where things start to unravel. Imagine being stuck in a makeshift field hospital, surrounded by the wounded and dying, only to realize that death isn't the end. It's just the beginning of something worse. The diary entries give us a glimpse into the sheer terror these soldiers faced. They're trapped, isolated, and slowly coming to terms with the fact that the dead don't stay dead. Moving forward to April 1862, we reach the siege of Fort Pulaski. After enduring a relentless Union artillery bombardment, the Confederate forces surrendered. only to be met with a nightmare. The dead soldiers, infected by a mysterious disease, rise again and attack both the Union and the Confederate forces. This event marks a crucial turning point. It's no longer just about survival in a war, it's about surviving an outbreak of something much worse. The fact that the Union and Confederate soldiers had to set aside their differences to fight this common enemy is both ironic and tragic. Then we have Pry Grist Mills, from April 15 to April 17, 1862. The 79th New York Highlander Regiment stumbles upon what seems like an abandoned mill, only to be attacked by infected individuals. The tension builds up as they realize something horrific happened here. And now we have lastly reached Dunkers Church. In September 1862, after the Battle of Antietam, both Union and Confederate soldiers, already weakened from battle, succumbed to the same disease. This leads to catastrophic outbreak, turning the battlefield into a scene of utter devastation. Personally, I think there might be more to this than just a disease. The fact that it started during such a harsh time in history makes me wonder if it's tied to some kind of supernatural or even experimental origin. Maybe someone or something unleashed this intentionally. What do you guys think? If these events are just the beginning, where does the story go from here? Could there be more outbreaks in other locations like West America? Maybe even beyond the battlefield, with other countries like Mexico being involved. So what do you guys think? Do you have your own theories about the origins of the outbreak? Or maybe ideas on where the story could go next? Yes, this video was made before the SYOP update. Hey everyone, sorry for a later than expected video. I heavily doubted I could have finished the video sooner, so I will give you guys the prototype. Thank you for the following people for their support or credit. They can be found linked down below in the description. Huge thanks to Mestyartz, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, for providing the thumbnail and completely drawing it for free. I know it's just a thumbnail, but I have it as a background or something for the credits. And it's also now the official banner for the Discord server, so good job on that. Thanks to Flavius / Flavian Legacy for supporting me and offering to help multiple times. Check him out in the description. I have a big skill issue, so the footage is not mine. It belongs to GMT's, Stars, and Kanaki, or I'm not sure that's how you say it. The original videos will be linked down below as well. Show them some support if you haven't already. Thank you Stephen Will for making an awesome sauce game. And my final thanks is towards you, the viewer. Thank you for watching. No, like really. And of course, this was shot on iPhone. I don't actually have a setup, so